Hello, everyone. I'm Terrence Rudolph, and I'm the State Conservationist for USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service in Georgia. First, let me tell you and the organizers of this event, thank you. Feral swine has become very detrimental to Georgia's agriculture industry for quite some time now. To tackle this challenge, it's going to take all of us working together in a delicate and synchronized effort, and I really do appreciate the role that each of you play in this fight. While we recognize that there are far more capable members on the team who can get their hands directly involved in the management role, NRCS is committed to utilizing a landscape level approach to comprehensive conservation planning to address natural resource concerns like feral swine, among others. By looking at all available natural resources and concerns, we are able to offer our customers a roadmap that merges with the management objectives and our conservation standards. Since 2019, Georgia has been one of 10 states utilizing the Federal Swine Eradication and Control Pilot Program to help provide financial assistance for 20 projects through grants to partners for training, equipment, and feral swine trapping. This program is implemented jointly by USDA Animal and Plant Health and Inspection Service and NRCS, and reflects our USDA team effort to help respond to the threat feral swine pose to agriculture, native ecosystem, and human and animal health. What this program does not do is provide financial assistance for the destruction and disposal of trapped feral swine. NRCS is not authorized by Congress to provide financial assistance to destroy these animals. We know that you can call on other USDA agencies or partner organizations to fulfill their respective roles, in addition to helping us to conduct various educational workshops. We value efforts like these to help everyone better understand the full scope of the problem and appreciate the public and private partners involved, and most importantly, the landowners. Folks, this difficult challenge is not small. It's a huge task. This problem has been building for decades, but it has reached a tipping point in many areas that something extraordinary has to be done. And by bringing valuable resources and perspective to the table today, and throughout all these workshops, there are better days ahead. Thank you again for allowing me to be part of your program. And if one of our dedicated conservationists located all over Georgia can be of assistance, please find your nearest USDA service center by going to farmers.gov and clicking on the Connect tab. We look forward to meeting you and working with you in the future.
Hi, I'm Charlie Killmaster. I'm the state deer and feral hog biologist for Georgia. Today, we're going to talk about some feral hog regulations, and this is going to be a fairly short presentation because there aren't a whole lot of regulations for feral hogs because they're a non-native invasive species. So we've pulled out a lot of the stops to allow people to manage them more effectively. So when it comes to hunting feral hogs, there are some license requirements. Residents need a hunting license if they are 16 years or older. Now, there is an exception if you're hunting on land that you own or owned by your immediate family that you reside in the same household with. Same as for any other type of hunting. It's the same rules that apply there. Non-residents, however, do need a non-resident hunting license. This is just the basic hunting license. Hogs are not considered a big game animal, so you do not need that big game license like you would for deer, turkeys, or bears. Now, on private lands, there's no limit on hogs. There's no closed season. They can be taken 365 days a year. They may be hunted at night with a light. There is no voltage restriction like there used to be on the lights, and those feeder lights that are attached to the feeders are legal. That question comes up from time to time. They previously had not been legal, but they were then legalized. Hunting over bait is allowed. The only thing that you can't do, and this is where you have a crossover where it might have application to a game species, there's no hunting from a vehicle under power. So you can't ride around with a shooter in the back of a truck while the vehicle is traveling around searching for hogs. Now, we do have an exception to that if you get a permit and you're operating on private lands, on interior roads, not public roads. You can get a permit to do that. You just call your local game management office. It's pretty easy to get that permit, and the permit lasts for about 5 years, and there's no fee associated with it. Now, on WMAs and national forest land or any other form of public land, the rules are a little bit different because hogs are more considered incidental take to other game species. So there is still no limit, but on public land, they may only be hunted during any big or small game season with the appropriate weapons for that season. So if it's a small game season on the area, the legal small game weapons would apply. So a more effective hog weapon might be a muzzle loader or a 22 Magnum. So they're considered incidental take. You are required to wear hunter orange during any big game season or during the special coyote hunts that we have in late May on many of our WMAs. We do require hunter orange on those for safety reasons. We don't allow night hunting, and there is no hunting over bait on public land. Now, the hunt dates and regulations vary tremendously across wildlife management areas and national forest land. They are completely separate and distinct from the private land seasons and regulations. So whenever you're going to hunt on a particular area, you need to look up the seasons for that specific area. Now, transport of feral hogs. There are zero restrictions for the transportation of dead feral hogs. Now, transporting live feral hogs is more highly regulated because we don't want people intentionally or unintentionally moving them around and establishing them in areas of the state where they are either low or no populations. So in order to transport a live feral hog, you need a permit from the Georgia Department of Agriculture. So feral hogs that are captured by a person without a valid GDA permit, those hogs must be killed prior to transport. Now, the release of any live feral hogs onto an area that's not fenced is prohibited, and the penalties and fines for transporting live feral pigs without these following through this permitting process is a misdemeanor of a high and aggravated nature. It's taken very seriously because of the damage that hogs cause. You can lose your hunting privileges for up to 3 years, and you get a fine minimum of $1,500, potentially up to $5,000 per charge. So it's one of the most serious wildlife violations that we have in the state. And finally, processing. There are a number of facilities that process deer for hunters. Those facilities may also process hogs if they obtain a license from the meat inspection section of the Georgia Department of Agriculture. Because feral hogs are still considered hogs and subject to the Meat Inspection Act, they have to have that permit that you don't have to have for deer. It's not that hard to get, but the facilities must contact Georgia Department of Agriculture to get that exemption to process feral hogs for individuals. So there are no licensing requirements if you process your own hogs, but again, as mentioned earlier and or other parts of this workshop, be very mindful of diseases like brucellosis, and always wear gloves when you're processing those hogs and some sort of eye protection. But that's the end of the regulation section of this workshop. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.